I really had no intentions of recording today, but as life has it, I want to talk about this because basically I ruined my own ego, destroyed my own ego, and it's the best thing that I've ever done because they say once you have ruined your reputation, you can live quite freely, and really once you break your own ego, there is so much freedom and power in that. And I want to share with you my story, what happened with me, as well as what inspired this video, because basically I was watching a video by Julian himself, and I'm going to link the actual video in the description in case it's something you want to check out. And in that video there was a girl and he kept trying to get her to be expressive and to express herself, and she kept being kind of shy, and she actually reminded me of my past self. And so he kept trying to convince her to express herself, to keep, being loud and to own her inner child. And he kept saying, what's more important for you, the approval of other people or the approval of your own inner child? And eventually she actually expressed. Eventually she ended up, he basically had her sing from the bottom of her lungs, happy birthday to you, and he had her jump around as a bunny. So she did it, but then what happened, and this is actually what really clicked with me, he had to ask her to do it again. He said, now this time do it again, and do it like a couple times, and don't laugh, but like keep a stern face. And she got like stone frozen again, and he said, there's no recovering from this. You've already destroyed your ego. You cannot look cool anymore. And she started laughing, and I thought, that's what I did too. Like, I've basically destroyed my own ego to where I don't feel like I can ever be cool again. And again, that's gonna look different for different person. Like, you each have your own definition of what cools mean for you. And basically what happened with me was that I basically tried to do OnlyFans for like 3 weeks to a month, and it was because a coach told me to do it. Now, thankfully for me, it went almost nowhere. I barely had any following. I did not do nothing crazy on there. But for me, the fact that that's there, the fact that that ever happened to me is like, my ego is gone. Like, to me, I can never ever be cool again. To me, that's like a biggest destruction of my ego, right? To that girl or to someone else, it might be expressing yourself, it might be failing at something, whatever destroys your ego. For me personally, it was doing that. And of course I can't blame it on the coach who told me to do this, because I was the one that did it, right? Which is a whole other story. I won't go into what happened there, but what I realized is, because I have that story now, I usually paint as I talk. I don't really feel like painting much today. I just want to talk. So basically, because you destroy your own ego, once you realize you can no longer be cool, there's so much freedom, because we spend immense amount of time, and I guarantee you watching this now too, how often do you worry about the approval of other people? How often do you want to maintain a certain persona, a certain face? You want to save face, you want to appear a certain way, you want to be cool, you want to be liked, because your ego is trying to maintain a certain image. And it's such a mental chain. It chains you. It prevents you from being free. And what I realized too, if you watch that video that I'm going to link below, you don't have to, but basically what I noticed is like a 40-minute video. And the energy of that girl from before expressing till after she actually did express was so different. She was like glowing, because when you finally choose to express, when you let your own ego die, you basically realize that there is no one holding you back ever. And it really comes down to this too. It's something that Julian himself said. He said, when it comes down to making decisions, like if you're trying to save face, if you are people pleasing, if you are trying to do something to look cool, which by the way, we're all subject to this. And even though I have basically destroyed my own ego, and to me, I will never be cool again. To me, the fact that that's on my record, it's like goodbye any kind of reputation, goodbye any kind of anything. Even though it barely went anywhere, to me, my ego is gone. So once you do that, even if you do that, sometimes it creeps in. Even sometimes when I make videos, sometimes it creeps in. I want to make a thumbnail that people are going to like and want to click on. I want to make a video that people are going to want to watch, and titles that people will want to watch, and it's in our DNA. But what I realized, it's one of the best things that I've ever done for myself, because now that I look back on it and I'm like, well, it's basically ruined. I cannot ruin my self-image anymore. And by the way, it's not what anyone else thinks of you. It's about your self-image. You destroying your own ego and you telling that ego to shut up is your own individual process. And by the way, every time if you ever do that, the ego is very loud. It will scream at you, it will yell at you, it will not go down without a scream. And the time that I did do OnlyFans for like 3 weeks, again, I did nothing crazy on there. Thank God barely anyone even saw it. I kind of wish no one ever saw it because it was just so cringy. It was the most cringe-worthy time of my life, even though I had someone else that was basically telling me what to do. It was like I wasn't even the one doing it fully. I mean, of course I was doing it, but I let someone else make decisions for me. And so because of that, like, my ego is gone. But it's so much freedom, so much beauty in that, because I no longer really care what anyone else thinks. Like, I literally debated making this video in shades and a hoodie because I had no intention to record. By the way, this is a Friday night. I am scheduling this for tomorrow morning, you guys, okay? And I was actually gonna take a break from creating videos because I realized that I was forcing myself to create content. I was forcing myself to make videos and to paint even when I did not feel like it. And I just didn't want to put that energy out into the world. So I was really not going to record, but I wanted to share this because if there is, again, something that you're worried about, or maybe you feel like you have your own ego and you want to know how you can make friends with it, how can you be more free, how can you stop looking for approval or validation from others, how can you stop wanting everyone else to clap, right? The way you do this is you run into the fear. You run into that feeling. You do it anyways, and you sit with the cringe worthiness. You know, when I was watching that video by Julian himself, which, by the way, for some reason I was really into watching his videos lately. I don't know what it is. It's just really cool to see like how people are being coached and the difference in their energy. And it was so interesting because he kept trying to convince that girl, and she was just standing there quietly. And this is what we do too, like, especially if you're more shy or introverted and you're watching this. If you are more shy and you cannot express yourself, it's because you have an ego and your body is holding on to that self-identity. It's holding on to this image that you're trying to preserve because you value validations from other people more than your own. It's almost like the approval of the outside, the approval of everyone else is more important than is basically worth you shoving down parts of you. But it's not worth it because those people are strangers, right? Like when that girl is standing in front of the crowd and she doesn't want to sing, those people are strangers. She'll probably never see them again. And so your ego thinks that you're basically gonna die if you're gonna express, if you're gonna be loud, if you're gonna go after the things that you want, but it's not true. You're basically just rejecting yourself for the approval of others, and it's never worth it. And so once you let your ego die, like once she did express, like it's just so beautiful to see, like at the end she was being silly and laughing and playing, and I was just like sitting there. I found myself dumbfounded, smiling like a weird person, and like I was just watching some of his videos and I was like clapping to the people, even though I'm in my own room by myself with a hood over my head because I'm in a mood to be cozy, okay? I just need to be cozy right now. So it's just so interesting because once you do this, it's so much easier to do it again. It's almost like it doesn't hold you back anymore. When you do something once, it's probably just because you're unfamiliar, right? Like, think about this. Chances are, if you're feeling a type of way, if you're feeling like you're held back or you're constrained or you are unexpressive or unable to shed your ego or you're held back by your ego, it's because you're just unfamiliar with that action, right? And the funny thing too is like once you do it once you do it more than once, you keep doing it, you become so familiar with it that it means nothing to you. And back to what I was saying, that sorry if I talk fast, okay? Usually I paint to slow me down, but I don't really want to be painting today. Last video, I did not want to paint. I forced myself to paint. So we live and we learn, okay? So basically, It's the best thing ever to destroy your ego, to do the thing that is the most cringe-worthy for you, to do the thing that you will feel like people will reject you for the most, whatever that is for you, right? Please don't do OnlyFans just because that's what I did, okay? Because I listened to someone else who told me to do it. But it's when you destroy your ego, all the other parts that might be attached to it kind of collapse together with it. And also, to give us a little bit more background, which is kind of a little bit into the video, but basically, you know, when I was gonna do this kind of thing for work, which I barely even made any money on it, it was just something that I feel like I did because people kept asking me about it, and my answer was always no. Like, I don't want to do it. Like, it's not going to happen. And this went on for a while. And one time I was in ayahuasca ceremony, and I met this person who was a coach, and he told me the same thing, and I said, I don't want to do it, right? But because I was in ayahuasca, if you guys don't know what ayahuasca is, it's a plant medicine. Basically, it connects you to something that is higher above yourself. It's like a psychedelic. It connects you to Christ consciousness, universe, God. It's very healing, and it's found in the Amazon. But basically, because I was sitting with this plant medicine, I looked at this exchange as maybe this is God telling me I should do it, right? Because everyone keeps telling me to do it, right? And that's the funny thing too. I never succumb to peer pressure. It doesn't matter how many times someone's gonna tell me to do it. If I don't wanna do it, it's not happening. But this one time, I said, you know what? Maybe there's truth to that. So I said, let me try it. Another lesson here. Just because people tell you something doesn't mean do it, okay? But I had to learn that the hard way by actually doing it. And the funny thing that I found was, you know, this person basically was like a coach. He was coaching me through it, which is weird in and of itself. Like, it's just a weird situation that I don't want to go too much into the detail, because that is not the point of this video. The point of this video is to say that that experience completely destroyed any kind of perception of coolness that I had about myself. And that's what our ego is. Our ego is this perception of you, a self-image, a story that keeps you looking cool, that keeps you looking good enough, that wants it to be good and appear right, correct, perfect, polished. So that experience completely shattered that for me, and I just felt like I cannot ever recover from that. My self-image can never recover from that. And it doesn't even matter that, you know, how many people see it. It's about you, right? When you have this experience with yourself. And if it's something you want to do, you can do it just by recognizing the things that scare you and understanding that it's not real. Your ego will tell you that you're gonna die if you do this. You know, I was so scared when I was doing OnlyFans. Like, some people love it, okay? There are people, listen, there's no judgments here. There are people that love it. If they love it, if it's in their DNA, it's in their wiring, it's in their biological structure to pursue that career, okay, do you, go rock it. But it was not me. Like, it was just not for me. It's not something that, it's just not me. Okay, there are people who can do it, who are open with it, they love it. If you love it, go for it, zero judgments. It's about what is the challenge for you, what is an area of life for you that would break you. And for me, that was it, because usually I'm very private with people. In that way, I'm very picky with whom I share that energy, and I have to know a person, I have to see them. So, and even pictures, like, I don't send people pictures. I have to know who the person is, I have to trust the person. So me doing that broke all of my last threads of my self-image. Of course, it hurt for a while, but I came out of it feeling like I can't lose. You can't lose anymore. Nothing you do is gonna matter, because when you reached a rock bottom, the only way is up, right? And I feel this now. I feel like doesn't matter what I do. Doesn't matter if I make my videos with makeup or without makeup, in a nice outfit or in a hoodie, if I paint well, if I paint horribly, if you guys approve of me, if you guys hate me, if I get comments that praise me, if I get hate comments, if people like the way I look, if people hate it, if people like my voice, or if they hate it, it means nothing to me. It really means nothing to me, because you are basically unaffected. You are just yourself. And that's another thing, by the way, that the Julian himself video talks about, is when you get any kind of critique, one of the best responses is, I'm just me. I actually recommend you guys to watch that video, but it is quite lengthy and I had to really sit through it, because at some point I was like, how long is this girl just gonna stand there and be quiet? So like I fast forwarded through some of it. But when you get a criticism or you get a praise, the best answer is, I'm just me. It's not getting carried away by the praises either. It's not being like, oh, I'm so amazing because people say that. No, I'm just me. And whatever people think is outside, and it doesn't matter. Because again, for me, it's kind of something that happened just because I feel like there's nothing I can do anymore to be cool, because I have that on my track record now, right? And for me, this is gone. So because of that, any kind of praise that I get, it's like, thank you, because I appreciate you saying that, but it doesn't, like, I'm just me. You know, if you think I'm good or bad, I'm just me. And that's one of the best ways you can adopt it, right? Because when you're just you, it doesn't matter what people think, because you could be like the most beautiful thing. Like, even if you look at this art, for example, what is it? Is it beautiful? Is it ugly? It's actually incomplete, because I'm still working on it, and I'm probably just gonna paint after I'm done recording. I'm absolutely dropping things. But anyways, I'm gonna paint more after I'm done recording this video. But is it good or is it bad? You are basically just like an art painting. I want you to think of yourself like this painting. First of all, you're incomplete, you're still living your life. But second of all, you have your own darkness, you have your own shades, and some people will find you beautiful and some people will not. But your answer is, I'm just me. And I guess you could bypass having to go through the struggle of destroying your own ego by just adopting this perception of I'm just me. But personally, having that experience of having my ego shattered made me feel like nothing on the outside matters, because it can't be fixed. So if it can't be fixed, might as well just be me, right? If you cannot ever be cool, if being cool doesn't matter anymore, might as well just be me. By the way, does not mean stop putting an effort into yourself, because I also realized I was like tempted to record this video in a hoodie and shades, because I was like not in the mood to put makeup, which, by the way, I don't have that much makeup. It's just the lashes for the most part. But I realized that, you know what, even if you have your ego destroyed and you can never be cool again and you feel like you have failed, if you want to still try and look good and do good, you do it for you. I look better. Of course, I could look even better, but I look better than I looked 10 minutes ago or 20 minutes ago, because I want to have a good video and I want to just look better on camera, right? It's for me. And also, of course, out of respect for you guys, but you do it for you. You completely let go of the opinions of others, of the needing of approval of anyone else. And so I hope that you got something out of this video, and I hope that it was helpful for you, because I really did not have any intentions of recording today. I've been posting 3 times a week, and I realized that the last few videos I had to really force myself to record. I had to force myself to paint. I had to force myself, and I didn't like that energy. And I thought, let me just go with inspiration, and as it happens, inspiration came tonight. So you guys get the video for Saturday. Usually I was posting like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. But if you want to know when the next video is coming, please do subscribe if you have not yet. There is a notifications bell that's gonna tell you when I post. If it's something you want to see, usually I paint as I talk. It's not in the mood today, so I'm gonna respect that. But hey, I hope you got something out of this video. Feel free to check out that video below, or if you want to have any more content from me, I have a lot of videos where I talk about how to be more free, break out of your mental prison. It's all about being free, essentially from yourself. Because no one is holding you back except you. Like, no one's ever going to self-sabotage you or hold you back in life as much as your own mind, your own belief systems. And basically that's what my channel is all about. With that said, thank you so much for being here. I hope that this video was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.